Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Horst Lüning, and this is my son Ben, and we were just a little bit funny. So today we have one of my personal favorites here on my cask, on your cask, and it's the Balvenie Portwood, finished 21 years old.
This is a classic, isn't it?
This is a real classic.
I can remember this when I was young and was handling all the bottles when I was doing the logistics in our old whiskey shop, and I can remember that one. But that used to come in one of these tubes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And well, in the meantime, the price went up, but quite a lot, quite steep. And today it's below 200 wherever you live, and it's only 40%, so it's directed to the masses, and it's chill filtered, of course. Yeah, and Balvenie is one of the distilleries which still have their own maltings, but I think not for 100% of their whiskies. I'm not quite sure. I visited the distillery in 2004, 2005 probably, and witnesses how they collected the barley from the drying floor. So it was interesting. And it's one of 3 distilleries on the same premise owned by the Grants family. There is Glenfiddich as the big one, Balvenie as a smaller one, and the smallest is Kinninvie. And Kinninvie is just a shed in which I think 10 stills are standing, very differently shaped.
Big shed?
Yeah, very differently shaped, because they need those different matured or distilled whiskies for their Grants blended whiskey. So they not only have 3 distilleries on premise, but inside the distillery a lot more of variation. And Balvenie is part of that variation for the blends, and they have a quite a long history for their single malt whiskies. They started with a 10-year-old in a cognac-shaped bottle, lightly brown, and then they went over to this bottle you're now seeing here with a 10-year-old Founders Reserve in it, and then they started to have this finished whiskey, the Double Wood, 12 years old, which we had here several times on the cask.
Didn't they also be closed sometimes in the 80s or something like that?
I'm not sure. No, I think they ran on low level.
Low level, yeah, maybe that one.
Yeah, and so we today have the 12-year-old, a 15-year-old single cask, and this 21-year-old, and there is a special 12-year-old as well on the market, not always available. So this is part of the constantly available single malts at Balvenie.
Yeah, I've been to the distillery just for photos, didn't get inside yet, but it's on my list to do at some point of time. They had a wonderful, I think it's a artificially cut lake, and they have a wonderful little forest next to it, and it looks really lovely.
And the proprietor had their house on the premise, and the very old lady with 104 or something, they lived in that house on the premise. Yeah, very good. As you said, for the time they had the tube, and now they have this card box, and the bottle itself is wrapped in this silky paper, so the appearance is quite, premium, let's say.
Portwood.
The first traditional whiskey oak maturation mellows the spirit and builds character. The second cask aging is the heart of the Balvenie Portwood and produces a single malt of refinement and remarkable complexity. And now you think, well, they had 10 years this, 11 years that. No, in the front they say somewhere, no, on the back, that they have the whiskey matured for 2 decades, and then they are running into the finishing process. So most of the time they are in probably ex-bourbon casks, ex-hogsheads, and after that they pump up the portwood for this additional taste. Yeah.
It's wrapped pretty solid in there, huh?
Balvenie is one of the bottles, or has one of these bottles, which have a very, very good pouring. So there's no drop outside, nothing. No, close to no drop. Here we go. So, what is it? It's astonishingly fresh, with a hint of smoke. They do not have smoky barley for the whiskey. The smoke might come from the burning of the casks. There are a lot of dark fruits from the portwood. And I have to say, if you do not know that, so portwood maturation is one of my very, very favorite. And Balvenie belongs to my favorite as well. So here two favorites are meeting together. And yeah, we have from the cask some nuttiness and this portwood note, this fruity, massive portwood note leading to dark fruits. Yeah, and some sweetness in the back.
Yeah, you said fresh fruit. The fresh fruit are just at the start.
Yeah,
And
just
when
at
you-
the start, yeah.
When you then hold your nose and you're like, hold on, there's a lot more of this oxidized dark fruits, dried fruits, and yeah, portwood. I think portwood is not all the same. This is one of these sweeter portwoods that are just very lovely for making the whiskey, and the smoke is very, very faint. If you would have mentioned it, I wouldn't have smelled it. And a bit of a dark chocolate note in there.
Yeah, we have two major sorts of port wine, the tawny port and this Douro port. Douro is the valley of the river Douro, and this is the typical major port wine, and the tawny is a little sweeter one. And I don't think that this is the tawny port. I think this is the typical major port from Portugal. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
So this is just 40%, nothing attacking my mouth. And first, there's a honey note, and the honey note is very, very typical for Balvenie. You find that honey note in every Balvenie. And the second note is, it's oranges, it's juicy oranges, which is also very, in the heart of every Balvenie, you find this juicy orange note. And then, getting stronger, spicy, sweetness, full, long aftertaste with a nutty note.
Very interesting. When you have it in the mouth, even in your mouth, it has a transformation of flavors. You do have a honey at the beginning. At the beginning, I would have said it's one of these lighter, sticky, not sticky, solid, flowery honeys. Afterwards, it's more of the darker, flowy forest honeys that are a bit more, have a bit more oomph in them. And then you have a lot of oak in it and a lot of chocolate notes in it. It's strange. What else did you mention? I've agreed quite some with your analysis, but I had a few extras in there.
Yeah, what I feel is that the taste of the Balvenie portwood finish changed a little bit to my remembrance. So my remembrance has been a lot more of darker, fruity portwood, and now we have a more fresher port in the foreground. It's no longer that big bitter note of these oaky casks, but it's more the portwood fresher in the top note.
What you also mentioned was the citrus fruit or the oranges. Yeah, oranges mixed with grapefruit. I have already tried the what was it? The double wood and I think a 15 or something like that. A rum cask. What was that? 14? 14, I think.
There is a rum cask.
14 rum cask, and they have much juicier, fresher oranges. Here, the oranges are a mixture between oranges and grapefruit. But you said it's much more fresh. I think it's pretty intense and pretty.
Yeah, in the aftertaste, it's not that fresh, but immediately attacking.
Maybe it was even more in the old times, but it's a remarkable, strong single malt Scotch.
For 40%, definitely.
Yeah, with a lot of dark tones. Be it oak, be it a grapefruit, be it chocolate. Nice.
Yeah, that's a whiskey.
But it comes a bit with a price. So it's 170 around there. Maybe a bit more expensive in America, but yeah. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this bottle, if you bring a bit of a change with yourself, it's a remarkable bottle for, I would say, experts. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.